So, I've just had an incredible month, one that marks a huge milestone in my life, and I really wanted to capture some of it and then share it with my family and friends. So, here it is, my month-long trip abroad.
But first, it all started with celebrating this beautiful young lady's birthday in Miami with our family and friends. We got to see and even make some wonderful art. We got to experience and play lots of fun games, and generally have a great time, surrounded by those who love and appreciate cat. And then the next day, we departed. And by we, I mean my best friend and brother from another mother, Brian and I. I was able to convince him to join me on this crazy adventure. We left Miami at 6 a.m. after a full night of partying.
We're on our way, man.
This is the beginning of a 30-hour trip.
Hey, going to New York, never been there.
And then
First
London.
time ever. And then London, baby. We're going to drink beers and take English people's money and book.
But first, we get to New York City without a hitch. With only a short 6-hour layover, we take in some of the sights. Not a bad spot to relax.
New York City.
This is the first drink we're having on our vacation. Oh my God. We barely make it back to the airport in time, and we take off for London. All right, on to the next place. We are in London. It's early as in the morning, Monday morning, 8 a.m. local time.
My nipples are cold.
Brian's nipples are cold. This time, with a 12-hour layover, we take in more sights and more beer, and have ourselves a bloody good time.
We in London, baby.
Yeah, we're at London Bridges falling down. Hopefully not this one.
No, not this one.
Not this one. The Millennium Bridge. No, hopefully no Death Eaters come and try to the bridge. Or no X-Men that are pissed off. Super cool. But being the responsible lads we are, we make it to the airport with more time this round and get on our next plane without a hitch. Except, they stop me at the gate and say my passport will not be accepted in the next country. They turn me around and ask me to leave the terminal. Brian and I have 10 seconds to chat, basically wishing each other luck as he continues alone and I figure out how to catch up with him. The next 12 hours are a stressful blur of actions. I immediately buy another flight for the next day. That night, I get a new passport photo taken. Then, the next morning, I go to the US Embassy in London and successfully get an emergency passport. I get to the airport just in time for my flight, and this time, get past the gate and on board. Finally, I make it to the Dalmatian city of Split in Croatia. And this ancient city, just wow. It was built in 305 AD. This city was born from the palace built for the Roman Emperor Diocletian to be used as his retirement home. Can you imagine a fortress as your retirement home? And the city was formed up around him, hugging the emerald waters of the Adriatic Sea. With Brian again, we explore some of the striking lands and fortresses of Croatia. We visit the ancient city fortress formerly known as Ragusa, now known as Dubrovnik, and also known to some as King's Landing in Game of Thrones. You can see why they chose this place to film. Boasting over 1,000 islands, every one of those islands looks like the birthplace of a dragon, and every fortress looks to be laden with soldiers ready to battle. So, of course, we had to be typical tourists and sit atop the Iron Throne, passing down righteous judgment. But sightseeing was not the purpose of this visit. The real reason why I was in Croatia, and the very milestone I'm excited to share, is this beauty right here. That's right. For For anyone who knows me well, I've been talking about buying a sailboat for well over a decade, and I'm finally doing it. At 40 feet in length, with a 22-foot beam, equipped with mainsail, jib, and spinnaker, she is more than I could ever have hoped for. A unique design, spacious and comfortable, described as some as a floating apartment. And she is now my new home. I can hardly believe it. I'm so stupidly grateful. That being said, she does need a bit of work done. So while here, both Brian and I put some elbow grease in and got to work. It's been a labor of love and laughter.
What are these?
But we couldn't do everything ourselves, and have had to hire parts and work done, plus all the paperwork of transferring title and registration between countries has been a painfully slow and bureaucratic process. So, while we waited, we continued living life here in Croatia. Brian and I both work every day remotely. We found our favorite food spots. We work out when we can. Go to the movies and hang out at the mall.
Oh, you're on.
It's been similar to being back home. But the best part, and this was unexpected, is the amount of people we've gotten to meet while here. There is an amazing community of travelers, residents, and Croatian locals that get together regularly and enjoy each other's company. We've been invited into people's homes, done fun activities like bowling and karaoke. We even played Catan. Guess who won? And perhaps more than anything, we danced. We danced at packed parties and empty nightclubs, outside in the street,
and on the dance floor.
I even tried a jazz fusion dance class. My legs got stronger and my butt got larger here in Croatia. I think maybe the biggest highlight was going to a local football game here. We met some locals who took us under their wing and turned us into true Hajduk fans. Well, maybe not true fans. The real ones are crazy. They use flares and light the stadium seats on fire, maybe even themselves. And they throw those flares into the field. Just nuts. But really, it was such an experience we'll never forget. Their hospitality, and even taking us to a barbecue afterwards with all their friends, us being the only foreigners there, we felt so welcomed. And that's really what I've taken away from being here for a month now. Seeing the location and landscape is of course an experience, but it's the people you meet that leave an impression and help to create the best memories. I hope to be as welcoming to others back home and to create that same kind of community. Anyway, now Brian has gone to visit family in Spain, and I'm forever grateful for his company this whole time. I've spent the last week aboard my new vessel, overseeing the repairs and the last of the paperwork.
So, for now, I'm headed home for the holidays, but still planning the next steps and journey to bring the vessel home to Miami. And I cannot wait to share her and the adventures she'll carry with you. Thanks for listening to me for this long. Hope it was time well spent. I'm sure I'll be sharing more soon enough. Take care and enjoy life till then. Bye.